Hey everybody, welcome back to Jimvitational. This is round 5, which is the lower bracket only, meaning we've got an elimination match here. This is between McMeghan, also known as Roro, and Mayo Pockets, who I covered earlier in the tournament, also known as Blyarg. Now, I do want to just get a quick clarification, redaction out of the way. In the previous match that I did with Mayo Pockets, I was calling this person he and him, and I have subsequently learned that they use she and her pronouns. Mayo, I'm sorry about that. No malicious intent, simply didn't know, but gonna correct it for purposes of this video. Anyhow, with that out of the way, let's get to the actual Pokemon action. Everybody knows Roro, one of the long-standing all-time greats of the game. Certainly has longevity stats, if nothing else, and plenty of accomplishments in the game, but the one accomplishment that for whatever reason he just has not been able to do, and what I think is this is the 7th attempt, I think he only skipped one, he cannot make money in either Kalos Invitational or in Jimvitational. It just has not happened for him, which is so surprising for a player with his resume. Mayo, honestly, I don't know really any more about than I did the last time I watched her play. Ferdazi kind of really had her number in that previous set. That has no relevance on this set, and Mayo could kick Roro's butt, but still don't know enough to really comment on the way that she likes to approach the game. But yeah, like I said, elimination match, best of 3, let's get into it. So Roro, McMeghan, is on the bottom with Titar, and Mayo on the top has a Zapdos. Those are the two most common leads in the tier. The Titar, of course, stays in, goes for a substitute as Swampert comes in for Mayo. Surf coming down to pop the sub, Focus Punch, sure, 42%, not bad. Gonna go back to the lead Zap, and this time gets it against a previously unrevealed Blissey. Now we've just got a Titar, and we notice that that is a switch rather than a baton pass. Titar is gaining leftovers here. Everything looks pretty standard so far, nothing funky, just generic TSS adjacent for Roro, and some kind of balanced offense, or just an outright balance for Mayo. They both got the Swampert, they both got Titar, they're checking each other, there's Double Edge, there's EQ. First knockout of the game going the direction of McMeghan, but there will be a probable revenge kill here, depending on how greedy he gets with the protects. 35% still in range, does go for the 50-50 double protect, and is successful, up to 42, and Mayo, no longer comfortable with it, is gonna pull it back, and you would think with the Dugtrio there that the Zapdos would indeed have Baton Pass, but is yet to show that. Hidden Power there, almost certainly Grass, aimed at the Swampert. Toxic coming down, put a meaningful clock on the Blissey, though of course it could just natural cure that away. Wonder if we see a BP now. No, it is still just a switch. Yeah, Hidden Power, Toxic, I mean T-Bolt of course. I would think the last move is BP, but maybe it's not. Maybe it's like Protect or Sub or something paired with the Toxic. Regardless, very, very standard for Roro, just some variant of TSS. Very well could be as simple as Skarmgar or Skarm X in the back. Toxic coming down, which again, it's a clock, but like second natural Curemon, so it's not really a clock. Here we go to Skarm, unsurprising, and no spinner in sight yet for Mayo. She very well may have one in the back. Starmie, Claydol, what have you. Doesn't really look like a 4E squad, but like, it could be. There is a Thunderbolt coming down, 38%. Thunderbolt again. But Rock Slide is going to further the lead for Roro, now up 6-4. However, like I said, still unrevealed for both parties, 2 of them for Mayo. Man, it really doesn't look like Monopert is going to get a lot done here with both the Blissey and the Starmie on the other side. Toxic and Surf is just not enough combined offense to punch through the combo of the two of those mons together. With Focus Punch, perhaps, to put pressure on the Bliss. Different story, but as it sits, when it really is just Surf and Toxic, that is just not going to be enough. Gengar comes in for the first time for Mayo and immediately loses its lefties Now Doug comes in trying to catch something, and it does indeed catch something. It catches a critical hit Drill Peck from Roro, which isn't quite what I think she was going for, but this game is really, really unraveling for Mayo, bad to worse. She does get herself on the board with a T-Bolt KO on the Skarm, but Roro with a pretty comfy lead right now, and that lead only gets bigger here. Aerodactyl is going to have to dig Mayo out of this, and a lot is going to have to happen. Rock Slide I do think is the move, so sure, down goes Tar, but yeah, bad news bears. Maybe if Roro did not have another Rock Resist in the back, maybe you can punch through with the Aerodactyl, but as it stands, I mean, again, maybe if you just crit the Rachi there, but that is not even close to what happens. You don't crit, you get parried with T-Bolt. This game is super duper over. It really never felt like Mayo was overly in this game. Roro was pretty much ahead the whole time. It's best of 3 for a reason. Next game is a new game, but this one was kind of a stomp, if we're just going to call it what it was. So we're going to move over here, and we are going to switch the sides for continuity, and I'll take this brief moment to remind you that the tournament, I believe, even though, as we all know, jokes aside, the tournament in real time is over, as we all know. I believe they are still taking donations all the way till the end, and will pass that along to the 3 players that ultimately did make money. So if you want to donate, there will be a link in the description. Anything helps. And, I mean, you kind of have to build the prize pool up a little bit if you want these tournaments to continue in the future. But problem for another day. If you want to donate, link in the description. Anyhow, so Roro here with 2 opportunities to eliminate Mayo. Mayo is going to have to go back-to-back against one of the greatest ADVers of all time, or she will be eliminated with a respectable finish, but nevertheless eliminated from Jimvitational 2. Here is the second game. Zapdos again for Mayo, but this time it is Metagross for Roro, who again has a Blissey. So again, just immediately looking TSS adjacent from Roro, which, I mean, look, I'm not trying to disrespect Mayo, I'm not trying to tell you that I can read Roro's mind, anything like that, but my observation from Roro over years and years of knowing the guy, generally speaking, when he feels like he's the superior player, when he feels like a longer game favors him, he does default to these really stally defensive TSS teams. So my impression here is that he believes that he's enough better than Mayo, that he doesn't need to get cute, and basically just saying, Mayo, I'm going to make you beat me. You need to show me that you're good enough to beat me, otherwise I'm just going to do this and I will eventually outplay you. Whether it plays out like that, I don't know. We do at least have a spinner this time for Mayo, so that's going to make it a little bit easier. Losing lefties isn't great, but so far it's a sandless game, so maybe it's not as big of a deal as it otherwise would be. Interesting. These are different teams. I mean, it is still TSS adjacent for Roro, but I mean, if you want to be really technical, one of the S's stands for sand, right? And it's not that, but it is still just a Skarm, Bliss, stally defensive team for Roro, so like, in my mind, it still counts as TSS, even though by literal definition it does not. Whereas Mayo seems to have, I mean, again, I would call this a balance, but certainly an offensive leaning balance in this case. But yeah, I mean, if neither player has a ghost, and if there are spinners here, this might be a longer game. Doesn't look like the Blissey has any meaningful pressure for the Starmie. I mean, of course, you can get a string of a bunch of full paras, but not a huge threat, and you can always get out of there with the Natural Cure if you're really, really feeling the pressure. Lax getting T-Waved is obnoxious. It may or may not have rest. It could also, on this kind of configuration, just be a Boom Lax. We'll see, but para annoying. But again, in a sandless game, when the Lax with its gigantic HP pool is gaining all these lefties, it's going to be hard to kill, para or no para. There's a 30% mash, only doing 30 because of the curse boost, 53% retaliation EQ. Not clear if it was going to be another EQ or a curse there, but either way, it is protect and full para respectively. 30% return there is really not bad. Gonna spike up actually, but another unlucky full para for Mayo. Return is going to connect now, 26, roared away, sure, and that's probably the worst possible roar target in this case. And it is, of course, just going to be Rapid Spin, and we now know definitively, not that I really thought it was too likely to begin with, but there is no Ghost for Roro. It is a Last Poke Jirachi just as it was in the previous game. Still don't know the Last Poke for Mayo, but yeah, this one is positioned, I mean, I think it's like already at the turn, or damn close, where the previous game ended, but this one in sharp contrast, there's not a single KO thus far. Now, the Wish does get passed to the meta here, switching it up to Suicune. Yet another full para for Mayo. +1 return kicks in now, 39%. Roar goes, and there is Metacham again. Haven't seen that guy in a while, or girl in this case, whatever. It is Brick Break and Surf respectively. The Metacham is faster. Out of the way that goes. And it is Recover. Fair enough. Yeah, we're going to have a little bit of a grind here, certainly. Still don't know the Last Poke for Mayo. Definitely could be an X Factor here. The Lax actually seems... I mean, normally Skarm deals with it, but these returns are hitting it pretty good. The Wish there certainly helps, but we know it's an EQ Lax, so it has the ability to threaten the Wish user itself. So if Mayo can manage to get a little bit more chip on the Skarm, get it down to where it was before, the Lax actually could be fairly difficult for Roro. Now, he's not dead to it by any means. Does have double phaser in both the Skarm and the Suicune. Does have triple normal resist between the meta, the Skarm, and the Rachi. Has Wish to support those Mons. I mean, I don't think he's egregiously dead to Lax, but he doesn't really have a great way to kill it. If he had spikes going, sure, but there's not only a spinner, but a spinner with Recover on the other side, so sticking those spikes might be easier said than done. A lot of switching here. Still don't know the Last Poke. That was obviously a good turn for Mayo, landing the T-Wave. Then again, it could be a Bell Blissey. We've only seen Toss and Wave. Of course, it's going to have Soft Boil, but the last move could be, potentially, Heal Bell. Could also just be Ice Beam, of course. Here's the meta again. By meta, I mean Medi. There's the meta. See? I could tell ahead of time. Shadow Ball there is only 20%, is not going to do it, and we do end up meta on meta. One's paralyzed, one's not. They both have lefties. Teensiest bit healthier for Roro, and they're going to exchange EQs, and in this case, Roro's does a good chunk, 7% more. Now here comes Zapdos, still TBD if it can actually remove that Toxic, but there is an attack raise there on that mash for Roro. And of course is going to try to milk the Toxic damage there, protect, not only getting lefties back, but doing damage on the other side. No reason to not make that play. Here comes Doll, perhaps thinking it was going to be a T-Bolt, but it's not. And there you go. Now we know the Last Poke for Mayo, so it's actually possible that she has a Heal Bell user as well. Unclear what kind of Celebi it is. Here comes Lax, and there you go. It is last move. I mean, I said Bell, but Aromatherapy in this context is the same thing. So it is a non-Ice Beam Bliss, which in this context is better because, I mean, the Ice Beam, Zapdos, I guess, Celebi even more of like an I guess. It doesn't even really count. It's like not even super effective against Celebi. An uninvested or minimally invested Blissey Ice Beam in a sandless game? No way. Never killing Celebi that way. So yeah, I mean, turn 69, Giggity, magic number. Definitely a longer game. 70 plus turns in, no KOs. It might be a grind. We very well might go a hundo plus here, and we'll see how it plays out. This could get dangerous very quickly, actually. For Mayo, maybe we won't go 100 plus. If you let the Suicune get too out of control, this game can end real fast. Now, we do know that it doesn't have Ice Beam, so Celebi here, right on cue, misses the Leech Seed, but I was going to say if it has Leech Seed, can handle this. Now, even when the next one connects, which it does, and it will temporarily handle the Suicune, the bigger picture issue here, and I mean, this is like a real grind, real long game problem, but honestly, PP, even though he just used the move for the first time, she used the move for the first time, the Leech Seed only has the base 16 PP, and against the Suicune, of course, the pressure ability, it's using 2 a whack. So, already used up 5, I believe, right? 2 Leech Seeds against the Suicune, and then 1 against the Rachi, so just like that, even though it just came into play. Only 11 Leech Seeds left, and even fewer if future ones have to target the Suicune. So, yeah, I don't know. The Suicune long-term could be difficult for Mayo. In theory, between Zapdos and the Lax, she can handle it, and she can temporarily, but on a more long-term basis, if this really does go the distance, I don't know. Maybe Roro does have the advantage. I mean, they're both having the problem of killing each other. Kind of surprising. I mean, Mayo's team in particular really doesn't feel like the kind of team that should have an issue punching through. I do like this for Mayo, giving herself just a one-off opportunity to randomly freeze something. I mean, not that it's even that good, because the Bliss we know has aromatherapy. I guess one play for Mayo's end could be to try to stall out the aromatherapies, make Roro eventually go through all of them. I mean, there's only 8 to begin with, but a much more reliable plan seems to be the one that Roro's on, which is to get rid of the Leech Seed PP. Mayo's going to be down to just 9 of them now after doing that yet again into the Pressure Mon. CM here. Can't imagine. Yeah, I mean, what is it? CM Psychic, Leech Seed Recover. Good luck punching through the Rachi that way with the 4x Psychic resistance. Never going to happen. Paralyzed Lax yet again. Does something on the way out. Honestly, I mean, 27 is not a terrible chunk on the Skarm. You could eventually get it that way if not for the fact that the Wish is there. With plenty of PP left. Still 10 of them. PP really might end up being a factor. I mean, obviously random crits or whatever could break this game wide open, or Mayo makes a great Medicham prediction or catches something that she's not supposed to with Focus Punch or something like that, but pending something like that, and Roro is obviously not dumb and not going to just walk something into a haphazard Focus Punch, so easier said than done, but they're really both having a hard time breaking through each other. We've crossed turn 100 here, still with no KOs, but I really think what we're seeing right now, and you can't see it in real life, but I'm actually pointing at the screen trying to illustrate it, but I really think that's going to be the X factor. I really think the way the game eventually breaks is Leech Seed PP runs out, and there's just no longer a great answer for Suicune from Mayo's end. So let's see, it says 11 and it's super not, it's like 9 or 7 or something like that. Yeah, the Leech Seed is, what is it, 2, 3, I think at least 3 of them, maybe even 4 of them have been against the Suicune, and there's another one. Yeah, that Leech Seed is getting really, really low, half a dozen maybe of them left, and it's really not doing anything other than forcing a switch, but it's not like you're getting the Suicune low or getting close to actually killing it. Not even a little bit, in fact. The Suicune is at 88% with rest, with an aromatherapy user. You are not even close. This could get dangerous if there's a boom here and it takes out the Starmie. Didn't happen, but if that were to happen, obviously, should Mayo lose her spinner, Skarmory becomes a very real way to make progress, if not an outright win condition here for Roro. But yeah, at first I thought I liked Mayo's end of it, but I think the longer it goes, the more and more I favor McMeghan. There's still an opportunity, like right here, come on, do something with the Medicham. Yeah, I mean, doesn't want to keep it in to get drill pecked. Can't blame her, but yeah, I mean, everything on Roro's team, just look at the health. 86 hundo, 84, 94, 86 hundo. Nothing is even close. 124 turns in. Nothing is even close to going down on Roro's end. Mayo has just been completely unable to find meaningful pressure here. And Roro giving himself opportunities to find crits or full powers or whatever. For example, right here, crit or full power, and the Lax is in big trouble. And she is not even going to risk it. She's just going to go to Celebi, but it's the exact same problem. I guess you can Calm Mind up with it, but we know that it is Roar. Maybe Mayo clicks Psychic here and just crosses her fingers for a crit. That is what she does, and I do like that play. Critting the Suicune here is a great way to turn this game completely around. But Leech Seed on the way out, and Lax is definitely a happy beneficiary of that. And nevertheless, same problem. Suicune very healthy for McMeghan, and Mayo just, all these turns later, has not made any meaningful progress in this game, is just having an impossible time punching through. Recovers fine and well. There we go. That would be a good freeze. But doesn't get it, and even if she got it, there's still the aromatherapy issue. The Medicham needs to be the guy. Right here, you've got to make a prediction and do something. Yeah, Brick Break Surf, that just does not excite me. Medicham is supposed to be this truck, this hard-hitting powerhouse, but unboosted, the Surf did more than the Brick Break. By a lot. It's some weird, bulky Medicham. I don't hate Recover, but does that thing not have max attack or something? Why are the Brick Breaks so shit? I'm okay with, max HP, max attack Medicham if you want to cheat on speed, but feels like the thing doesn't even have max attack. I don't know why those Brick Breaks are so bad, but the thing is not punching through. And there's yet another. Any little chip damage that was there, completely gone as Meta eats the wish. It just, I feel for Mayo. This can't be a fun game to play, but it feels kind of hopeless if I'm just being an honest caster. There you go, there's progress, but not the progress Mayo wanted. I mean, with the spinner down, the Skarm is just going to be a huge issue now. Mayo couldn't really punch through before. The meta was not a huge part of the defensive equation for Roro, but now the spikes are just a very real threat, and honestly, not to be that guy, but I think it might just be over. I really do. I know it's 5-5. I know that feels, maybe early in air quotes, even though we're 150 turns in, but I think it might be done. I think losing the Starmie there, without making a hell of a lot more progress than Mayo has currently made, is a death sentence. There's going to be 2, if not all 3 layers here. There's no way to remove that. Still nowhere close to punching through. 100% Mayo's prerogative here to play it out, and keep in mind it's Roro who's up a game, so if Mayo loses here, she's out, so certainly can fight to the bitter end, but I just don't see it anymore. With the Starmie alive, you always had the out of getting crits or making a good Medicham prediction or whatever the case may be, but now, yeah, there you go. Okay, here you go. Wait. Oh, that's so bad. Focus Punch on a T-Wave turn. Obviously, the Focus Punch, had it landed there, would have knocked Blissey into a new fucking continent, but the full power there is just absolute insult to injury. I already thought it was over, but Roro trying to give Mayo a window back in, which didn't love the T-Wave there. But now it's just over, I think. Killing the Suicune does help, but how do you win now if you're Mayo? The plan clearly is she's going to try to go down the last poke lax here. It's as good a plan as any, but maybe if the doll doesn't have boom, maybe you can get there that way. Yeah, that's the plan, and that's her only plan, so that's what she's going to do. She's going to pretty casually fodder the rest of this stuff. Down goes the Zap. Here comes Celebi, that's coming in basically to die, and going to try to get there with last poke lax. That is, at this point, definitely the only way for Mayo. If she manages to do that, we'll go to a game 3. But if Roro takes it down, it's going to be a 2-0, and Mayo will be out of the tournament. Here comes Bliss. It's not the craziest thing. it really is just a matter of the doll. If the doll doesn't have boom, it's not insane that last poke lax could get there. It's really not. What are you going to do? Drill peck it to death? Now, granted, you can Thief, or no, not even. Thief was already popped. I lied. So, yeah, I don't know what you would do. You can't drill peck it down. This particular set of Rachi is never going to kill it. This Blissey, unless you get a ridiculous string of T-Waves. So, yeah, actually, you know what? Maybe the Lax really does have a shot here. It really is all a matter of whether or not this doll has boom, and we have no idea. Obviously, it's going to have Rapid Spin, but beyond that, we don't know. The last 2 moves could easily just be EQ Rest, EQ Refresh. It's really interesting. Here's the moment of truth. It's either boom right here and we're done, or I think Mayo actually has a really good shot Yeah, that sucks. I mean, it felt like a hard matchup for sure for Mayo, and this could not have been a fun game to play. The result is going to be a 2-0 victory for McMeghan, eliminating Mayo. I feel for Mayo a bit in this game. Yeah, I didn't love Roro allowing that focus punch to happen, getting bailed out by the full para. Maybe if the Blissey eats the focus punch there. And yeah, I mean, Mayo would have been in theory ahead then, right? And maybe this could have gone a totally different way. But yeah, I mean, obviously Roro knew the whole time that he had Boom. Whereas, I mean, not that Mayo really had a lot of good choices at that point. Kind of had to just hope that it wasn't there and play accordingly. I don't hate the way that Mayo played the late game. I think she went to the only out that she had, and you kind of just needed a set to not be what it was, and Roro had it, so fair enough. But now I feel bad. I mean, honestly, I mean, I did 4 Mayo games this tournament, and I mean, yeah, she lost all 4 of them, but really does seem like a decent player and someone I'd like to see more of going forward. But nevertheless, the person that we are going to see more of going forward, because they're still in the tournament, is Roro. That's McMeghan. And that's it. So I will see you guys in future videos. Do hit the like button if you've been enjoying the tour. Like I said, consider donating. I've got a YouTube channel, youtube.com/CallusNarrates, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you.